Hi friends, and welcome back. Today's video is going to be a couple different recipes based off of bananas because I have a lot of bananas to use up. You can peel them, and usually per recipe it's usually 2 or 3, and you could just put them in the freezer. But I want to make some things. It's early today and I want to get them started before it gets too hot and I have to put the air conditioner on. So I am going to be making, first off, for starters, my sour cream banana bread. And I was thinking maybe banana oatmeal muffins. And I was thinking of making, this is all just what I'm thinking off the top of my head right now, maybe banana pancakes. All right. Well, however this turns out, I'll bring you along for each recipe. We'll see if we can fit it all in one video today. So I'm going to start off. My butter is at room temperature. So you need a half a cup of melted butter. And we're going to pop this in the microwave. I tried to get some things out in advance. Very warm today. Whoops. Already making a mess. And I'm going to save this paper so that I can butter and grease my loaf pan. So I'm just going to set that off to the side. And we are going to put in the microwave the butter. Good morning. Sorry, I can't speak English. Hi, I'm Melody. This is Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. If you're new here, maybe think about subscribing. We would love to have you. Please make sure you smash the thumbs up button. This is going in the microwave to get that melted. Okay, I'm going to do that on 30 seconds. And let's see. So we're going to need a half a cup of sugar. I'm just going to make one. Do have a lot of bananas to use up here. Should have made 2, but between me and my son, we wouldn't eat all that. And he doesn't have a big enough freezer for me to freeze one. So there's that problem. So I'm melting a half a cup of butter, and we have to do 2 eggs. So let me turn you this way. Alright, I'm going to put on my paddle attachment. Okay, and I also got out my butter that is melted. So paddle attachment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my 2 eggs first. Always crack it in a separate bowl. You wouldn't want to, if you have other ingredients in there, you wouldn't want to start over. So I'm not sure if that's a shell, but we're not going to take a chance. Yeah, it's not. Okay. And that's why you always do it in a bowl. Okay, 2 eggs, and we're going to need a half a cup of sugar. So we're going to go in with the 2 eggs and a half a cup of sugar. We're going to start creaming this a little bit first. Oops. Okay, let me plug it in. Crazy, I usually always have it plugged in. I guess from cleaning, I unplugged it. So let me make sure you can see this. We're going to put it on lock. Move it back a little bit. And here we go. We're going to start creaming it. Okay, it's like a pale yellow, and I'm going to just slowly start adding in the butter. only because it's a little warm and I don't want to scramble my eggs. Okay. Give it a good mix. And now we're going to go in with the sour cream. Sometimes sour cream can look like it curdles. Don't panic. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. We're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla. Always use real vanilla. Right on in. Give it a mix. Now for the sour cream, we're going to need half a cup. I don't have any fresh sour cream made, so I'm just using what I have on hand. We need a full half a cup of sour cream. Squeezable. Sour cream. Okay, let's lift this up. We're going to go in with our sour cream next. Might have to scrape it out of the cup. This has been my favorite. It was from Pampered Chef from years ago, and I can't seem to find the same one. We will make two. Yikes. Okay. Now we're going to start mixing. We're going to give it a scrape down once to make sure there's no sour cream. And while we start mixing this, we're going to smash our bananas. And I'm going to use the same measuring cup. A lot of people think when your bananas get like this, like they're no good. Maybe not for like your cereal or whatnot, but really, really good for baked goods. They actually get sweeter as they ripen up. So I'm going to use, I'm estimating 2. These are kind of on the smaller side. I might go in with 3. Okay, so that's 2. And I think I'm going to go in with 1 more. So like I said, they're teeny tiny bananas. Just use a fork, back of a fork, to start smashing it, the banana together. There's our banana. And I'm just going to start. Ugh, that noise. We're going to try our best and smash up all the bananas to like a mushy consistency. Okay, that looks good to me. And we are going to put it in our mixture. Didn't want to dirty up another thing, so we'll just use the same measuring cup. Okay, pretty easy recipe. And now we're just going to incorporate the bananas. If you want to use nuts, you can. That's optional. I'm not going to. And we're going to get ready to do our dry ingredients. We're going to do one scrape down. Now I say this all the time over here. When you're baking, you can mix away all you want until you put that flour in. If you put the flour in and you keep mixing it, you will have a very dense banana bread. So you don't want that. So let me grab the flour. I have plenty of bread flour, but when it comes to regular flour, all purpose, I tend to go through it a lot. Okay, so we need a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of salt, and what else? 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do my flour first. This is just for one. So I'm going to do, you should always aerate your flour. I just go across with my finger. If you want to weigh it out, you can. I don't do that. And I just make it so it's nice and level. We're going to raise this up. We're going to put in our 1.5 cups. This is another way you can measure your flour. It's just from doing it up above. And then just swipe it to set butter in it. So we'll see if it all comes out. Bingo. Okay. Let's move this flour out of the way. And now we're going to go in with a teaspoon of baking soda. And then we need a half a teaspoon of salt. Your oven will be preheated to 350. Oh, let me do a half. Half a teaspoon of salt. Yeah, so 350, 25-30 minutes till it comes out clean. Depends also on your oven. I have to keep an eye on it here because my son's oven runs really hot. So let me make sure. Okay, so we have everything. Mix this, and then if you wanted walnuts, you would put the walnuts in after you incorporate this. Like I said, don't overmix. This like a year ago for my birthday. Eventually I'll use it. I'm going to stop it right there. And we're going to scrape down once. As you can see, I didn't run that for very long. I get off all the flour. When it comes to baking, in case you're new at baking, you definitely have to measure everything. It's not a wing it type of situation. Like when you're doing recipes, sometimes you can add. When it comes to baking and you want it to come out really good, it's the best way to do it, and that's to measure everything. Done. Okay, I'm gonna get ready to butter my pan, and then we'll put it in it. Okay, let me butter my pan. I had to get it out. I just turned the oven on to 350. Another trick, because I know a lot of people think once those bananas look like that, they're inedible. Maybe inedible for certain things, but not when it comes to baking. But roasted bananas, oh my goodness, so good. So good. I have the oven on 350. Have to wait for it to preheat. So this is where you would stir in walnuts. You can also add chocolate chips. I'm not going to. I'm just making banana bread. My banana bread, that is. So we're going to make some other recipes involving the rest of these bananas. Waste nothing. If you can't get to them, freeze them. Okay. I buttered my pan. You can put parchment paper in it if you don't think you can get it out. You can put a little bit of flour and butter on the bottom, but it'll be just fine. So this will give you one loaf. Oops. Okay, let's scrape this bowl. Let's not leave anything. Get all that goodness out of there. Okay, smear it out, and we are good to go. Just going to take a wet or dampened paper towel to clean up the pan, and that's it. So this is going to go in the oven as soon as it preheats, 350 for about 30 minutes. I'll bring you back and I will show you exactly what that looks like. Okay, friends, I cleaned up. Banana bread's in the oven. I only set the timer for 20 minutes because, like I said, my son's oven runs very hot. So I was cleaning up and getting out the ingredients for the next recipe, and I think I'm going to make the banana oatmeal muffins. So I have flour out. I have old-fashioned oats. Let me show you. Old-fashioned oats, 2 eggs, cinnamon, vanilla. Some recipes call for vegetable oil. I don't use that. I'm using non-flavorless avocado oil, baking soda, baking powder, salt, vanilla, 2/3 cup of milk. I told you about the 2 eggs. And then we're going to use about 2 or 250 grams of mashed bananas right there. And you could add chocolate chips if you want. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do yet. And then it's 1.5 cups all-purpose flour. So this will be my banana oatmeal muffins. So we should get 12 muffins out of that, and I think that's pretty good. So I cleaned the paddle, the bowl. So we're going to pretty much do the same process, sort of, kind of. We're going to crack our eggs. Move you back. These white eggs from the supermarket, because if you know I don't have my chickens anymore. I'm just double checking. I just missed my chicken eggs. I miss my chickens just in general. So that's 1 egg, and we need 2 large eggs. I see a lot of this on the eggs today. Okay. There's the 2 eggs cracked in a separate bowl. There's no butter in this recipe because we're using avocado oil. So we're going to start off with 2 eggs right into the KitchenAid. And 2/3 cup. Do I have that out? 2/3 cup of sugar. I have to move some things out of my way to get to the sugar. Okay, 2/3 cup of sugar. Right on in. There we go. Move this flour out of the way. If you've never had these are so good. It also, in case I didn't tell you, it also has 2/3 cup of milk in there. So, let's start mixing the egg and sugar, and then we'll go in with the milk and the oil. You want a cream. I always cream mine so it gets like a light pale and yellow color. Okay, so we're doing all of our wet ingredients right now. So 2/3 cup of milk. Okay. I'm going to make sure I don't leave any milk in there. And now we need, how much? 1/3 of oil. Like I said, I'm using avocado oil. I'm just trying to make sure I can see it. I get mine from Sam's. We have our 1/3 cup of oil going in. Gonna give it a light mix. And our 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Love it. Okay. Phew, it's getting hot in here because I told you my son's oven runs very hot. Alright, we just added the vanilla extract. Now we're going to go in with 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. So let me get that. I don't have my muffin tins ready or anything like that. Not yet, anyway. So we need 1.5. So there's 1. I have you aimed right into the bowl. There's our half. And then we're going to do a teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon. Use what you have. I can get it. 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, which is really on the spoon. Okay. Half a teaspoon baking soda. Always make sure you double check and look and make sure you're using the right one. I've seen so many people make a mistake from baking soda to baking powder. So my recipe is calling for half a teaspoon of baking soda right there. And then we need 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. That's our half baking powder. And now we need 1 teaspoon make sure you level it off. Okay. So we did the baking powder, the baking soda, the cinnamon. Let's do 1/2 teaspoon of salt as well. I have a timer set for the banana bread. So we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is just kosher salt. It's one of my favorite salts. And I think that's it. Besides, oh, I forgot to do the mashed bananas, folks. Okay, no big deal. We'll make it work. But the bananas should have went in with all the wet ingredients. Let me check this banana bread. Okay. Alright, so two bananas. I'm just gonna mash them up pretty finely. We'll make do. I think the banana bread I did 3 because of these being so small. If you really like the taste of banana, you will like this. Okay, hold on here a second. Okay, I almost forgot the oatmeal too. What is going on with me today? But it's still gonna be fine. So that was 2. I think I'm gonna go in with 3 bananas. Let's get a fork and let's start mashing up the bananas. Just use a fork. I like to go sideways with the fork sometimes to make sure there's no big pieces, but I'm going to keep mashing that. It's my fault for the reason why the bananas aren't in. I put the bananas down at the bottom of my recipe. It should be written with your wet ingredients, so that's my fault. Okay, we're just going to put the banana over here on the side. going to actually just take a fork and push it down underneath. And there's my timer for the bread. So let me check the bread. Okay, the bread isn't done. And I just set a timer. I did it for 20 minutes. Now I just set another timer for 10. I mushed a banana down in there. Now we have to do our 1.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. So okay, so 1.5 cups of old-fashioned oats. I have the bananas down there. Let's just give it a whirl. Scrape the bowl once. Try to get down to the bottom of the bowl. Looks like the banana got all mixed in pretty well. Looks a little bit thinner than I remember it, but that's okay. And another quick mix, but let me just double check. You can put 1/2 cup of chocolate chips in this. Not sure if I want chocolate chips in it or not, but we'll figure it out. Okay, I think I'm just going to pass on the chocolate chips. We're going to give this another quick whirl. Ready? Done. And we're going to let the batter sit for a couple minutes. Get the cupcake pan out or muffin pan out and line it and wait for the banana bread to come out. So this is our banana oatmeal muffins. Pretty easy. So let me clean some of this up. Okay, just check the bread again. It's still not done. It took me a hot minute to find my pan. I'm going to use medium cups. And then I have to figure out what our third recipe is going to be. These got a little smushed in the move. Just want to bend it backwards so it makes it a little bit easier when you're putting it in. Okay, so third recipe. I wanted to do a Dutch baby pancake banana. I don't have my cast iron pan here, but I'm pretty sure we could do that and do it in a glass pan. So maybe we'll go with that instead of the banana pancakes. Because I have a recipe for the fluffiest pancakes and it has ricotta cheese in it. But I will be bringing that to you soon. Today is all just different banana recipes. Okay. So timer goes off. I'm gonna have to, I guess, reset it a little bit longer. Bottom's looking good, but the top looks a little jiggly still. I'm trying to deal with, you know, let me raise up some with my son's oven. So, there is that. Let's get in focus here. Okay. I usually use my other cupcake scooper. Well, a stainless steel. I usually use that for baking. I'm just going to use this one for now. So let's take the paddle off. You can also sprinkle, which I might do, some oatmeal on the top. So let's see how many we get. I think I'm just going to do 1 scoop going all the way around first, because these are mediums. Then we could go back around and top them off. So yes, so don't waste your bananas. Let's start. I think they turn pretty quickly in here because I like my bananas really green. And this was like a whole bag of them. There's that timer. I don't think it's going to be done, but let's just double check. Banana bread tends to get this split in the middle. No. See? Still not done yet. Okay. Back in it goes. Okay, I just set a timer for another 10 minutes. Like I said, every oven's different. I didn't bother to look to see if I had my small ones, but I'm just gonna make do. And then we'll just top off each one a little bit if it needs it. Use our scraper. A little bit more. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I don't always, so I might do it to some. Not all. Let me show you. Here they are. Okay. I'm going to sprinkle half with oatmeal. Right on the top. Just like so. Sorry about my arm. And then the other ones I will leave plain. The oatmeal should bake right in. I give it a little crunchy topping. Great for a treat, great for breakfast. Okay, do a little bit more on this one. Okay, there we go. There's half with the oatmeal on them, and the other half are plain. Right there. Okay. Well, it's only one rack in there, so let's wait for the bread. And then we'll put these in, at least I think. You know, friends, I was just thinking, normally when I make my Dutch baby pancakes, I always do it in a blender. Don't have my blender or food processor here yet. Nobody can seem to find it in storage. So, I'm wondering if I could whisk it by hand. I'm not really sure what the next recipe is going to be. So, I put another 6 minutes on the bread that's in the oven, the banana bread. And I'm going to think about the next banana recipe. Okay, finally, the banana bread. My banana bread is out of the oven, and now I'm going to put the muffins in. 15-20 minutes, but I don't know, it took a little bit longer for this banana bread to get done, but it looks gorgeous. And I'm going to let it rest in the pan for a few minutes, and then I'm going to turn it out so it doesn't really cook up anymore. So let's get the muffins in the oven. Okay, it's been in there a few. Let's see if we can get it out. I don't want it to cook in there much longer. Bingo. Easy peasy. Look at that. Okay. Muffins. There's the sour cream banana bread. The muffins are in the oven, not quite done yet, and I think I might have figured out the next recipe. I figured we'll wing it together. I think I'm going to do my soft, chewy oatmeal cookies, and I'm going to substitute raisin for maybe chocolate chip, and I'm going to put some banana in it. So that's what I'm thinking, but gotta wait for the other things to dry. It's very minimalistic around here, and I'm waiting for the muffins to come out. So, yeah, let me check them. Okay, yeah, so they have a few to go. I want to get 2 eggs out to start getting them room temperature, and I think that that's about it. But I think that's what we're going to do. Soft, chewy banana oatmeal cookies. Omit the raisins and add the chocolate chips. I guess we'll see as we start putting together the recipe. In the meantime, I'm sweating to death, and I'm going to take a break, wait for them to come out of the oven, and then we'll start the next recipe. It is banana day around here. Okay, timer went off. Let's check these and see if they're done. If they're not, we'll just put them back in. Clean as a whistle. And we're done. Okay. There they are, looking scrumptious. Just double check. Yep. Feel good. Okay, so this is our banana oatmeal muffins out of the oven. That's cooling. Now these are going to have to cool, and I guess we will most definitely be making some soft, chewy banana chocolate chip cookies. So let's let this cool. Hey friends, I figured, because I'm getting hungry, I figured I would try one of the muffins with you and a little piece of the banana bread. So that's the one without the oatmeal on the top. So these are the oatmeal banana muffins. And let's see how they look. Ooh. Look at that. Very moist. Mm-hmm. Absolutely delicious, great breakfast muffins. I kid you not. These will come in handy because when my son's running out to work, I usually give him something for breakfast and I make his lunch, so this is going to be great. And now, let's slice a little piece off. These are serrated. I'm going to go for the end, of course. Look at that. Moist as anything. Oh my goodness, if I missed banana bread. So good. Delish. You can have this one as a snack or also as a breakfast for the week. But great way to use up some bananas for sure. And it's really, really sweet, moist. Let me show you. Look at how it's camera. Focus. How nice and moist that is. Okay. Winner, winner. 2 recipes using up bananas. And I wanted 2 recipes for breakfast. So, awesome. Now, I made my decision on what the third, last and final recipe will be. banana related. Let me move you over here. And I'm going to put you back. I have to lower you some, my friends, so bear with me. Okay. Searching, searching, searching. Changed my mind. I am going to make the best banana cake ever. So, normally with banana cake, you could do cream cheese icing. I'm not going to do that. I am going to make a creamy chocolate frosting. Did you ever see like an Entenmann's back in the day? Like, because me and my daughter used to love it. But Entenmann's, it would have like, oh, that banana cake was so moist. You know, it's before all the extra additives of stuff and things, but super moist. And it had like a fudgy, you know, like banana icing with fudge on it. So I decided I didn't want cream cheese, and I just decided like banana cake with the creamy chocolate frosting instead. So it has been, I don't know, late, let me think, 1986, somewhere in the 80s, like late 80s. It's the last time I've made this, so this should be interesting. And what I'm thinking about doing is making the banana cake in the pan that I use for my cinnamon rolls. So I started to dry everything, and I have butter out. Okay, so let me just tell you the ingredients. It's 1.5 cups of milk, 2.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. I still have to get a lemon out, and then you have to divide it. 1 1/3 cups of mashed bananas, so we're going to be using up more bananas. 2/3 cups of butter softened, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1 cup of sugar, 3 large eggs, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I have that out. I'm short 1 egg, so I got to get that. And I got to get the lemon out of the fridge. And then the dry ingredients are 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now, what makes this cake different is the factor that before, with normal freezer room, I would put it in the freezer. The actual cake, when it comes out of the oven, well, you definitely don't want to overmix this cake at all. So you're starting off at 350, then you're going to lower the oven to 300 for 60 to 70 minutes, or until toothpick comes out clean. And you cannot, under any circumstances, overbake this cake. Once it's out of the, once you remove it from the oven, you add it to the freezer for 45 minutes to make the cake extra moist. I'm not going to do that because there's no room in this freezer here for that. I'm going to put it in the refrigerator. So, not a lot of dry ingredients, not a whole lot of, you know, work, technically speaking. But I just have to get the other ingredients together, and I want to get the dry ingredients together. I have to preheat the oven again to 350. But I'm going to go and finish eating that while I get the ingredients together. And I think that's my final recipe. It's going to be the best banana cake ever. So, here we go. Let's get the rest of the ingredients together. Okay, so let me tell you what I have going on. Because my son's home today. I was helping him out. So it requires 1.5 cups of milk. And then I had to add 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice to the milk. So I did that. It'll turn it into like a buttermilk. And then for the bananas, 3, 4, 5, I used 5 bananas in order to get, where to go? In order to get 1 1/3 cup of mashed bananas. Just doing some prep over here. And then 2/3 cup of butter softened. I have that done, and I have 3 eggs in here. And now I just have to get the brown sugar, the sugar. I have the vanilla out, and then we'll be getting ready to whip up the best banana cake ever. Okay, we're just going to get rocking and rolling, and I wanted to make sure I didn't leave out this point with the bananas. You have to add a tablespoon of lemon juice in with your bananas. Okay, so let me adjust you guys right to here. I didn't butter or grease my pan yet. This is the pan that I like to make my cinnamon rolls in right here. Okay, if you can see that. But a 9 by 13. I'm not really sure what size this is, but I'm going to use it. Because, sorry for all the racket. Because I think I can get it to fit in the fridge. So yeah, technically I used to put it in the freezer, but if I look in the freezer right now, I don't know, I might be able to fit it in there for 30 or 45 minutes. Okay, so you have to beat together the butter, the brown and the white sugar until combined, and then add the eggs. So let's measure out the white and brown sugar. So we need half a cup of brown sugar. We take out, I don't know if you could see this. This is how I keep my brown sugar, with a piece of terracotta in there. And every once in a while, I will re-wet it. But it keeps brown sugar really, really moist. And if you don't have that, you could do it with a piece of bread. Then you'll never get hard as a rock brown sugar. And it's so easy to make your own brown sugar. I've done that on the channel. So way back. It's just sugar and molasses. So if you want dark, it's more molasses. If you want light, go lighter. And you have to do it in a KitchenAid. Okay, so we need a half a cup of brown sugar. We're going to put it in there. I just re-wet it, and I stick it down in my brown sugar. Okay. Trying to get used to recording and, you know, room space. And I'm pretty sure we need a half a cup of white sugar as well. Nope, 1 cup of sugar. Okay. It's half. I'm not worried about the few lumps. I think it's just coming from the humidity. It's really hot today, so there's that. Okay. So we have both of our sugars in the KitchenAid, and we're going to beat together the butter and the brown and white sugars until combined. I want to mix this up first. Get out any lumps within the sugar. Okay. That looks pretty good. Looks pretty sandy. Now we have to put the butter in, which is 2/3 cup right there. I was hoping it would all come out in one, but it did not. My son saw the muffins and he said, oh, that'll be great to go out the door for work. So yeah, he is down with it, and he's had my banana bread many a time. So he just went to go do an errand. Okay, now we have to mix these two together. You have to do it within this step by step. It's all combined. And then we'll be, once this is all thoroughly mixed in, we'll be adding the eggs in one at a time, and the vanilla until it's light and fluffy, almost like the texture of frosting. So that's going to be interesting. Have a good mix. Scrape down. Hopefully you can see good. Mix it again. Okay, now we have to go in with one egg at a time. Oops. Let me fix this very quickly. One egg at a time. Light and fluffy, almost the texture of frosting. And our last egg. I'm just going to let that beat for a few minutes, and then we have to get the other ingredients. Oh, there you go. Sorry. It went out of focus. I'm going to scrape this down once right now. You can see the texture's already changing. That's what I mean by almost like frosting. And then we're going to continue to beat. Now, do you see the texture difference and the color difference? I think I'm going to call that pretty good. Let me show you it. Almost like a frosting. Okay. I'm going to try to move you. I don't have that much power. It's because you're attached to the battery pack. Hold on. Okay. I am going to use this bowl for the next amount of ingredients, which will be the dry. So we need 3 cups of all-purpose flour. So let's get that. Two. I just usually will take my finger or a butter knife to level it off. Level it off. Okay, so that's 3. That's our 3 cups of flour. We need 1½ teaspoons of baking soda. Let me get my teaspoon. Okay. 1½ teaspoons baking soda. One. And then we need 1/2 of baking soda. Okay, there's that. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Nope. 1/4. Let me see. Wait, let me double check. 1/4 teaspoon right there. Alrighty. That is our dry mixture. I'm just very quickly gonna mix all those ingredients together. Sometimes when people clump it all up, it's like, I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but you get a baked good and suddenly you taste salt. That's what it's from not mixing the ingredients together. Just gonna sit that there. Okay, on to the next step, my friends. So that was the dry ingredients. Almost like frosting, so that's that. Combine the flour, baking soda, and salt. Medium bowl, did that. Alternating, adding flour mixture to the egg mixture, stirring until combined. Do not overmix. Wants us to fold in the bananas. All right, friends. I guess when I hit the pause button, it didn't record what I just did. So let me tell you what I did. You saw the dry ingredients. I took the milk that has lemon juice in it, like buttermilk. I did milk to flour, in that you can either start with liquid, end with liquid, start with flour, end with flour, but just don't overmix. That's the only part that you missed. All done. I scraped the bowl. I mixed it one last time because this type of cake cannot be over mixed. So it was basically just alternating the milk to the flour, and I scraped the bowl down once. Now, I cannot believe that that was not on. I'm going to preheat the oven to 350, and now I have to prepare my pan. So I thought about putting parchment paper, but no, because it's most likely going to stay in the pan. So I'm just going to do a little bit of butter. Doesn't have to be like real thick. You want to mainly get the corners. So yeah, pretty simple recipe to make. It's only like the buttermilk, the milk with the lemon. You just put a little bit of that in, and the flour. You have to just take your time and keep alternating it, and then scrape the bowl down once and then mix it. That's all that you really missed. Let me grab a paper towel. I don't want too much butter on my pan. Oven's preheating. I like to take a paper towel and go over it. Make sure it's not too much, but it's in all the little nooks and crannies. Okay. I'm going to do a little bit of flour. And then I will bang it out. Bang it around. Like so. So that you can get it to come up the sides. I usually do it over the sink. And I'll just take my hand and take off any excess, or just give it a good banging. Got a clump of flour in the corner. So you're better off doing that in the sink, so you don't make a humongous mess. Okay. Oven's preheating. Let me dry my hands again. So I can't emphasize enough when you're doing the milk flour mixture, Once that's all gone, scrape it, give it a quick mix, and then stop, because you cannot overmix this cake. So now our prepared pan is done. Let me move all this out of the way. And let me see, I think I forgot. I told you it's been a long time since I made this. And now I'm going to have to mix this one more time, because I think I forgot the vanilla. Not the end of the world. Since I did it very quickly, do it again. Done. That's how quick I was on the last time to where I thought it was recording. I can leave these recipes down in the description in case you want to try them. Now we're going to take this off. Move that out of our way. Push this KitchenAid back so I have some room to be able to work. Okay. Alrighty. Now we have to fold in the bananas. Fold in the bananas, pour it into the prepared pan. Yeah, so let me see what else I wrote. Put in the oven and then reduce it to 300 degrees for 60 to 70 minutes or until toothpick comes out clean. Do not overbake. Everyone's oven is different. I want a little bit more of that flour off. Okay. Now we have to fold in our banana mixture. You can see the bananas didn't turn brown because it has a tablespoon of lemon juice on it that I mixed in with it. So you just want to fold this in, the bananas. But like I said, a lot of people, I mean, me personally, I do like cream cheese icing, but not today. I think I just want to wing it, and we're going to go with chocolate. I do have the cream cheese and everything, but I just figured like a chocolate frosting with a banana cake. Sort of like back in the days, Entenmann's. Okay, I think we have it. All the bananas mixed in. Clean off your spatula here. The oven is at 290. It is not preheated yet. And don't forget that this is going to take 16, 70 minutes, but keep your eye on it. I'm definitely going to have to keep my eye on this because my son's oven runs kind of hot. So that's what it looks like. It's kind of high and fluffy, looks good. So now we're going to get ready to pour it into the prepared pan. I rarely ever prepare my pans. Get it all in there. We'll have to scrape, scrape, scrape. Make sure you get it all out of the bowl. If oven's preheated, I'm trying to think if my memory serves me correctly. When I went to baking school, this was homework one time, you know, in class as your first complicated cake to make. Complicated being all alternating the milk and the flour. And I passed that with flying colors. So I'm pretty sure this is the first, you know, because you get taught all the basics. And then they push you up a little bit more, oops, and a little bit more, so that you learn a lot of skills. Let me fix this tripod. Suddenly having some discrepancies. Okay. If you know, I do all my own recording. I have no one else doing it, and I do not have an editing software. I'm using a free one, but I don't have anyone to edit the videos. I'm just trying to get back out there after everything that happens. There you go. I have to move this. It's probably why you were uneven. So the best banana cake ever is ready to go into the oven. 60 to 70 minutes. Let me rinse my finger off here. Okay. And that, my friends, is how you make it. All right, let's see. It's been a long time since I made it, but there it is. And I'm going to put it in the oven. Now I have to turn it down to 300 degrees. Once you preheat the oven to 350, you grease and flour, 9 by 13 pan, place, let's see, wrong spot. Sorry, friends. You can tell I'm a little rusty. Put in oven and then reduce to 300. So we're going to put it in the oven, which it's hot. And then we're going to reduce the oven to 300. Okay. Now I'm going to start cleaning up, and I'll bring you back when we go to take the cake out. I have to actually set a timer, but I'll bring you back. Okay, friends, I figured I would come back on. So the timer was for 70 minutes. I set a timer for 60 minutes, 10 minutes less on the clock because the oven gets so hot. But the last I checked, it was still, you know, a little squishy on the top. So I'm waiting for the timer to go off. And I figured that we could get started on making my creamy chocolate frosting. I think we're gonna go with this bowl. Now you really should sift your confectionery sugar, but I don't have mine here, I don't think. Okay, yeah, it's not here. So I am going to use a whisk, take out any lumps. So we need 2 3/4 cup of confectionery sugar. So let's get started with that. I cleaned everything up. Now how it goes, you end up with a mess again. But it is banana day. Okay, so we need 2 3/4. I don't think my cup is going to fit in there. It might. One. Let's see if I can get the cup in here a little bit further. Oops. Like I said, always making a mess. Okay, so that's 2. And now we need 3/4 a cup. I got it all behind the container. I am a hot mess. Okay, so there is that. So we went 3/4 cup of confectionery sugar, which I got it all over. That's okay. And I'm going to run the whisk through it to get out any additional lumps before I go in with the cocoa powder, which is going to be 6 tablespoons. I might do 7. Okay. Make sure you can see everything. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to say 1 for good luck. Why not? Way. And then I'm going to mix these 2 together. So that it's all incorporated and no lumps. Okay, let's try to get this up, shall we? Get it into the sink. Alright. 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter at room temperature. Mine's at room temperature. Now you can use evaporated milk. That was what I used to use. I'm not using that today. I'm going to use some heavy cream. So it'll be 5 tablespoons of evaporated milk or heavy cream. 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So let's get the vanilla extract back out. So what we need to do first is cream the butter in a large bowl until smooth. So what did I do with the butter? Well, that's funny. Oh. Alright, 6 tablespoons. I might put another little dab will do you in there, since I choked from it. Has to be really soft, room temperature butter. I have the wire whisk on. Let me get you. Okay, I'm just going to bring you closer to the bowl. Okay. I think you should be able to see all right. When I put this wire whisk on, the machine makes, I don't know, it's like the wire whisk. I don't know if it's to my other KitchenAid, I have no idea, but it makes that noise. Everybody will have to deal with it momentarily. So you want to cream the butter really well. I need that 1 piece of butter to get down there. Okay. Now we need 5 tablespoons. This is new. I'm just going to open that up now. Okay, now we have to alternate, but that just looks like a whole lot more than the amounts of milk going in, but we'll go with it. I want to get my tablespoon. I should take the lid off first. I'm going to get my tablespoon of vanilla in here. Okay. We're going to mix that in with the butter. Okay. Now you want to do this all nice and slow. You have to start gradually putting this in with, same thing as the cake, you're going to alternate. And it may be a puff of powder. I hope not, but probably will be. Just keep going, a cup at a time. I am going to have to scrape it down for sure. And that is what I did for the cake as well. Suggest you turn it off. So it'll be 3, and then I will scrape it down. Now we're going to scrape, and then we'll have to add the rest in. My scraper. Scrape down the sides. So now, let's try to get the rest in here. Not the rest. Intervals. Oh, there goes the timer for the cake. Let me go stop that. Look at that beautiful goodness. Let's try it. I think I have, I'll use this as a cake tester. That is clean. You're not going to see the holes. Cake is done. Turn that off. And now, look at that goodness. It really looks like banana cake. Well, because it's supposed to look like banana cake. But let's go back to making the frosting. Now I have to set you up so you can see. I'm going to give that a minute or two before I go. I'm going to finish the frosting, and then I'll put the cake in the freezer. Okay. We're going to have to get the rest of this in, and we're going to have to scrape the bowl down. Just wash this bowl so it's like some of it's sticking to it. Yes, we make noise over at this channel. I know the consistency that I like it, so you can just keep doing tablespoon, tablespoon. Now scrape. Want it a little bit thinner. Let's taste. Oh my goodness. Now we're going to whip it, and whip it good. Look at that consistency. I don't want to drop any. But look at that. Amazing. Right? Easy peasy, didn't take too long. You just really want to make sure you don't see any of the white from the confectionery sugar. And I'm just trying to look at the texture. It tastes phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to give it, I think, a drop more and whip it. Okay, so that is done. I'm just going to let that sit right there. We have the frosting, creamy chocolate frosting, all done, ready to go. And now I have to put that beautiful banana cake in the freezer, if I can fit it. If you can't fit yours, just put it in the fridge. But I'm going to try, see if I could fit mine in there. So now the frosting is done, and I'm going to put the cake, I'm going to try to fit it in the freezer, and then I'm going to set a timer, and then I will bring you back when I go to put the frosting on, and we can finally, we'll get to have a piece. I did it, I got it to fit. And now I'm going to go set a timer for 45 minutes. Our banana cake is in there. And then I'll bring you back after I clean up all this mess now. Okay, I just took this out about 5 minutes ago. So, let me give this a quick whip. And let's ice in the cake. My son tried the frosting, and it's not really sweet, which is great because I don't really like really sweet frosting. And I don't have my offset spatula here, so it stays in the pan. So you can cut a square. Okay, let's see. Make sure that you can see that. And I guess I'm just gonna put it on like this, and then I will spread it out. Perfect amount for this cake. If you hear anything in the background, that's the air conditioner. Make sure you get it into the corners. But it's literally the perfect amount of frosting for this pan. Now with Entenmann's, they only did like 3 strips. We used to love that banana cake. You don't have to make it look fancy, just spread it out. You want to make sure you don't see any of the cake. And that, you could go like this throughout the whole thing. Butter knife. If you want to be a little fancy. So, I'm only going to take a little tiny piece. I mean tiny piece. All you need is a nice cold glass of milk. Now if you do a bigger slice, it's obviously going to come out a little bit easier. Look at that in there. I wanted to cut it so you could see the inside. Now let's try it and see how moist it is. It's cold. Oh my goodness. So good. It's actually better than Entenmann's, and I should have taken a picture of it before I took a slice, but that's okay. It's very, very moist. I highly recommend you making this, and that's the trick. When it comes out of the oven, is putting it right into the freezer. It's one of the moistest cakes, and it tastes really banana-ish, which would show it's a banana cake. But there you go. 3 recipes. So banana bread, oatmeal banana muffins and a banana cake with homemade chocolate frosting. Thank you everyone for joining me. Smash that thumbs up button. Think about subscribing. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, friends.